Alrighty, welcome back once again to Mania 7 Key World Cup 2026. This time around, we got another last match on the Saturday block right here. Is going to be apparently quite a little bit of a seed difference, even though it's not that much. It's going to be Poland versus France. I'm Mifan. I'll be joining it with Sparky. How are you holding up?
I'm doing pretty alright here. Had the joy of back-to-back matches and nice to close it out with another hopefully very close matchup here. Like you were saying, it's a bit of a discrepancy, but I feel like it's still in upset territory if Poland isn't too careful. France definitely has it within themselves to pull something out of the bag here to continue their run in this tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those cases where the pool is pretty steep in terms of in terms of difficulty, so it's not really all smooth sailing for both teams really, since this is knowing that this is still in like a lower bracket, so one of these teams are going to be eliminated.
Yeah, so looks like we're gonna jump right on into it. We've got the rolls have come out. Looks like Poland ended up oh no, we're going through it. I think France was already asked, and it looks like Hybrid 3, based on what I'm seeing here, was the Protect from France, waiting for Poland to throw out theirs here.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Hybrid 3, I think, it's not, if I remember correctly, I don't think it's been that popular of a Protect, so it's interesting regardless. Actually, for Poland, protecting EX3 is quite bold, if I do say so myself. About I guess the Protect from Poland has been knowingly just very difficult charts in general, so it just kind of plays to their strengths, really.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe just enjoying the physicality, maybe wanting to push the comfort levels of this French roster, maybe just feeling really confident in their abilities to do so. Opting to remove LN4 from the pool. Not surprising. Saw it last match on the B stream. Pretty difficult, all things considered. It is a very hard chart, so not surprising to get rid of that one. And we'll have to see what France responds with.
In some sense, I think Poland banning LN inverse, well, not full inverse per se, but it's definitely one of those that I think, knowing the inverse nature of the chart itself isn't really so much of just reading negative spaces. I think Poland is trying to neutralize that kind of risk, which I think it translates very well. I feel like EX2 in one of those cases, I think, it's much more in the Poland's realm rather than just a straight up LN inverse.
For sure. So wanting to remove any outside contingencies. So looks like both new additions to the pool are going to be removed. Right, 6 going to be the ban for France here to start things off. Also a very hard chart in its own right. Maybe not as hard as the EX pick, or EX1 rather, but Rice 6 is definitely a bit of a step in comparison to the more quote-unquote standard picks in this pool.
It's just completely different in terms of pick. I mean, I haven't seen so much of a pick for Glassy Heart or Rice 6 in this particular, because it's just a juxtaposition in between like all other picks of like Rice, because we've seen a couple picks from one of the O's originals, EX1, and it has been kind of more popular as of late, and I think France not trying to get into that territory where playing high risk charts up their forte. So I think in response, picking this in particular is one of those more comfortable picks, but that's not really saying much, since this is just density at its peak.
Yeah, this is about as bog standard as you can get when it comes to the Rice picks. Just dense core stream, not the, well, it's a ramp up in terms of BPM, but it's not the fastest BPM core stream pick we have in in this pool, but definitely one you would consider to be a bit of a bread and butter pick for a lot of teams. So the fact that France is going for this first, maybe just wanting to see how comfortable Poland is with the density increase, the BPM increase in this pool, and maybe give themselves a bit more of a line of attack.
Just a bit of an FYI. At least for the quarterfinals, density core stream pick, like 170 BPM, it's about the same BPM as the faster core stream in round of 32. So we're at a point that this is just translates to just even more density, and then I think stamina plays into that factor as well, knowing that you kind of have to just resort into hitting everything without actually just flinching, really.
Yeah, I think there's a propensity to really start flamming a lot of the chords as we get to like those 4, 5, 6 note chords that begin to make their appearance on picks like this. So keeping those in check will be of the utmost importance. And we'll just see how they all do. We got Bagietka and Wolfu for Poland, and Clamati and Mila for France going up against each other on Angel Dust.
When I saw the chart, I think it's specific. I feel like there's only like two specific, well, not two, actually just one specific break section that is kind of not what I was expecting, but we'll get there once we actually get into that portion of the chart. But really, all things considered though, France is, well, holding the lead, but not anymore right now. Poland is taking the lead over, but I think Wolfu's accuracy is kind of tanking alongside Mila right there, so I think the lead's not changing anywhere.
Yeah, this is quickly transpired to a top half versus bottom half style of match where Bagietka and Clamati are kind of canceling each other out in terms of their relative accuracy, basically tied with each other. And now the major battle between Wolfu and Mila, but Bagietka actually being the first one to drop from the upper half. Full combo reset on the side of Poland, going to help increase this lead for France to the tune of about 17,000 points as we transition into the break. Yeah. Second half of the map coming up.
This is your only break. that's what I'm going to say, that knowing that this is just calm before the storm, really, because the rest of the chart just is nowhere near as difficult as the first one, but it's definitely a step up in terms of stamina requirement, and I think France needs to nail this section if they want to have a chance to take much more of a lead.
For sure. The fact that Clamati's still holding on to their FC on their side is really doing major work right now and increasing this lead for France. Wolfu not able to withstand the onslaught of this section as we transition on into the outro. 34,000 points, but Bagietka falls once again, and that one might be the nail in the coffin if it wasn't already looking bad enough. Mila trading a couple of those back, but I mean, France has looked so good on this pick so far.
Yeah, you didn't even get the break in the usual Angel Dust charts, but it really just translates to just even more dominant lead for France, and Clamati takes the full combo. No, make no mistake, this is like one of the best scores I think in this particular Rise pick. It's really just the 4 200 and 3 100s. Bagietka though, he's almost on 1 200 as well.
Yeah. It's basically a V1SS with a couple of misses there. It feels pretty standard. Sometimes it feels like you're on the run of your life and it's just a couple notes here and there. But I mean, the team difference very much going the way of France there on that opening pick, and Poland wasting zero time going for their protect. They're gonna go for EX3 as a response.
Just picking straight up the hardest. The hardest of the bunch.
Yeah.
The indie picks.
Yeah, the de facto mini tiebreaker, as many people like to dub EX3 to be. Effectively a hybrid. It is long, it is physical, it is very hard. And I mean, if Poland's gonna run with a strategy of out physicality France, this is the perfect pick to try and do it.
I think the pick makes sense, but the issue is, while this is also when you would say that this is also the most physically demanding ones out of the picks that we actually just seen overall in the pool, even in the previous matches. Angel Dust also has that kind of similar thing about just having that physicality to do that. So having this is a little bit of a risk, knowing that Wolfu's more likely to just falter off in terms of that kind of density, but knowing that this is a completely different approach to what we've seen on Angel Dust. This should be relatively more comfortable on Poland's side, but it's still on the hard side regardless.
Yeah, we'll see if the risk in terms of strategy pays off for them. They definitely have more time to work with on this pick if they need to like cobble together a comeback. But if in their eyes they don't want to be having to make a comeback if everything goes well. So we'll just have to wait and see as this song gets underway.
Just starting off with just a simple LN coordination, nothing. It's just kind of a sleeper once we get into just the nifty greedy, and then there you go. Clamati takes the first miss on the France side, and second to boot, but Wolfwood also trades it out. But that's just one miss, but even then Wolfwood's accuracy is taking to like 98.5, same as Clamati actually.
Yeah, everybody, these staircases really taking people for a bit of a ride. 3 people below that 99% mark, Wolfwood down below the 98% mark, leaving Baguette alone on a bit of an island here to try to withstand this French onslaught. And it is a bit of a tug of war with this leaderboard going into the second quarter of the map.
Wolfwood kind of got lost in the staircase, I think. It's not just releasing properly, just to take it like just under 98 right there, but even though it catches up, but it still has a tough hill to climb regardless. Clamati takes more extra drops on the side, but the only FCs left are just on the respective sides, both Bajeka and Mila, respectively.
Yeah, both of them doing a great job ensuring they can either keep the lead in check or keep the lead on their side for their respective countries. 5,000 points in favor of Poland going into the second third of the map. Still plenty of time for France to make the recovery run, and both of them are getting back up over that 99% mark to start trying to make some inroads in this deficit. Wolfwood's the last player below the 99% mark, but as they climb, I imagine it's only going to help bolster this Polish lead as we continue on here.
Clamati and Mila added 99s as well, and Wolfwood is also trying to climb into 99s, but Mila, there's some FC gone there from France. Wolfwood also takes a trade, but still just about, well, no FCs left in the lobby right now, so it's just about same kind of difference, but Clamati and Mila is kind of tanking right there.
Yeah, taking a couple hits there for the side of France. Wolfu not transitioning into this as elegantly as the rest of the lobby, but Gekka falls as well. And now the lead shrinks back down to that dangerous 2,000 point mark. And if they're not careful, it can swing back over. Clamati trades one of them back. It's 500 points in favor of France as we transition into this next section. Mila falls.
Drops as well. 2,000 points just right under there, right under the skin right there. It's just Poland needs to hang on to dear life because the last quarter is what decides it.
It's this accuracy from Baguette that's keeping them afloat by the tiniest of margins. The fact that they've got a tiny bit of free time above that 400 combo cap. And Wolfu finding the drop, not going to help matters here. Lead shrinks now, 2,000 points with a quarter of the map left to go. Miller finds the trade, but Clamati is now picking up the pieces. Both Polish players. Clamati trades some of them, but nobody wants to hang on to the lead right now. Everybody is finding business through this outro.
France on the lead. France is running away with the lead right now. It's just about to reach the 5-digit figures here. And France knowing that they're onto something with the density picks, and it's really paying off dividends right there. Poland's not being able to hang on as strong as they could. Even the Bajeka still at a 99 pace. Wolfu, on the other hand, doesn't really having the tightness of grips right now, just below 98s right now.
Just these transitional moments, multiple misses across the board. Clamati, the only one to come out of it unscathed, the only person above that 400 combo cap as these last couple of LNs come down, and it looked dicey there for a couple of moments, but France finding it within themselves to wrench that lead from Poland and take the first break point in this match on the protect as well to make the 0-2 here.
It went from a Poland's lead by about 3 to 4 quarters of the chart, and then France just stole it right back at the pretty much one of the densest section of the chart, which really just came down to density, which it really plays to France's favor. So it really doesn't really look like it's paying off for that reason.
Yeah, that's probably going to put a bit of a wrench in the overall strategy, where if they were looking to try to physically dominate this French roster, maybe not going to work out as well as they were hoping, as now France opting for Rice 3.
This is a bit of a riskier pick than just Angel does, in my opinion. It's not straight up density, it's just faster. And I think Poland can handle faster stuff with just less density for that reason.
Yeah, it felt like when things really got cluttered on screen, that's when we started to see like the multitude of misses on the side of Poland. So if you lighten the load a little bit and just increase the BPM ever so slightly, it might play into their favor. But that being said, I mean, France looked pretty clean on Angel Dust here. So if you lighten the load for them, maybe both of them really start to stretch their legs here and just take off running.
Yeah, it's just I think the pick from France with Angel Dust before was a good move in hindsight, but then when it starts to just claw back into like some sort of density pick, that I think Poland picked EX3 for that. It's not paying off, but I think France is kind of on the edge here for picking this. But if they're picking this, then they should be gunning with that more accuracy and not so much of a combo for that reason, because France is not as like pronounced like a sharpshooter, if that makes sense.
Right, I don't think you would really peg them down as like a sharpshooting accuracy team. But that being said, I mean, they do have the ability to swing some of those scores. Miller gonna find the first drop through this introduction once the real denser streams begin to rain down. Wolfo and Baguette full combo reset on the side of Poland in response. Gonna swing the lead back on over to France. The only person with an FC left, Clamati, and 2/10 ahead of their next closest competitor, shrinking down to about a 10th now. But I mean, an extra miss in the back pocket too now for France to work with. Gonna increase his lead to about 8,000 points.
Like, despite Poland's miscounts, even I think Bajek and Wolfo's misses are very clear. Even though Wolfo takes an extra miss before that, it's like still at like a 99.6. Whether even the Clamati still has an FC, which is a very good thing in France's side. Mila, however, has a miss, but the accuracy is way far behind in terms of Poland's counterparts here.
Yeah, about 3/10, but I mean, combo versus misses, it's one of those where you would take the one miss low accuracy versus a 3 miss high accuracy in these regards. But that being said, it's a very heavy load to bear.
It's pulling to Poland's side, actually, just ever so slightly. Mila's actually kind of taking just under 99, but again, I think Wolf was another miss, which definitely has France's point, quote-unquote, comfortably.
Yeah, that little score dip was the fact that Clamati's kind of fell off a cliff in terms of accuracy a little bit. 3/10 lost in that last section, but still doing just enough. I feel like a miss would have thrown things into disarray, but fortunately for them, able to withstand it to the end and make it 3-0 to start this one off, with Poland up to pick once again.
Not the cleanest of performances, even for at least for France's side, knowing that the other core stream pick has been Clamati, just been pretty much on top, but this is now actually on Bajetka's being the MVP on this chart, rather, because of the ratio and the 200 count being just 5. And now Poland's turn to pick, and it's going to be Blaze's Assault. This is the generic hybrid that I think Poland should have a decent grip, knowing EX3 being the dense, being the densest of all the dense picks right here.
Yeah, basically just take it back down a half step to where the rest of the pool is, and maybe they'll have a chance to show what they are made of. But that being said, it's three maps now where they haven't. Well, they look pretty good on Angel Dust, minus a couple of moments here and there, but they need to find a like double FC, not have to worry about the accuracy ever so much, because it feels like they have on average maybe like a tenth or two to work with over France. It's just the misses that are capitulating the score lead when all is said and done to France. So I mean, this is a pretty good opportunity to try and right the ship a little bit, but France could also just really turn the screw here if they get this breakpoint in the back pocket going into the second ban phase.
We see the only mirror coming from Rijeka, it seems like. I didn't remember there has been any mirror, at least using mirror mod for at least the past 3 picks in general, but hopefully it works out, because I think there are some couple of mind-blockable patterns, like some of the hand bias, if you would say.
Yeah, I always like to say it's just preferring some of these patterns going the other way in comparison. But like you said, it's like the propensity to mind block some of these patterns after there's only so many times you can see something before it's just like, I just can't, and you need to reverse it. So for right now, 4 really strong starts, 4 FCs on the board. We're playing tug of war with the leaderboard, and we're already a quarter of the way done with this song. Everybody kind of stacking up against each other, devolving into this top half versus bottom half battle we've seen to start this match off. We're transitioning back into that.
Yeah, despite even though the score being like just about a 3-digit figure, it's still neck and neck between, like you said, at the top half and the bottom half right here. And Vegeta is just pretty much pulling ahead in terms of accuracy, but all that matters is just combo, right? They need to combo everything, because otherwise you will definitely lose that momentum.
Absolutely. Already crossing over into the midway point. It is maybe a 0.1%, but even then that's being canceled out. It's like the difference between Mila and Wolfu is matching the difference between Baguetka and Clamati right now. So it's doing everything in its power to keep things straight, but as things stand, as all 4 players hold on to their FCs, I say that,
not again!
The first drop. But that being said, it was a really clean drop. They're still above that 99.7 mark, but it gives France a tiny position to work with.
Pulling back again! Poland's pulling back again in accuracy. Mila's actually taking the 99.09 here. Despite the miss from Mijetka, Poland still pulls ahead.
Oh, there goes Wolfu!
Not again! Wolfu's actually... Oh no, it's actually getting pretty close, regardless of what happens here. Akis is gonna be the dictator of this here now.
Neither French player can afford to miss. Neither of them can afford to drop. Oh, but Baguette gonna find the one at the end.
2.6k as a score difference. That is insane to think that despite the full combo by France, it's still just narrowly winning.
It is 1,000 points where Clamati beat Baguette by 1,000, Mila beat Wolfu by 1,000. And that is the entire difference. That is insanely close. If there was ever a time for a team to double FC, that was the map to do it on. France had 0 margin for error there.
Poland is not in a state of a position where they can relax right now. They're 4 points down, and it is France's turn to pick now, in which it can solidify to 5-0, but then I'm not sure Poland's Poland's options here.
The X1 gonna be the ban. Understandable given
this pretty smart ban. I feel like, knowing France can take a full advantage of the core straight that we just saw 2 picks earlier.
Yeah, and then France up to ban. I mean, they've looked pretty good on everything that they've played so far. Like, that's the thing, it's like they've looked really balanced in comparison to Poland on these picks. Maybe you just get rid of Rice 5 if you don't want to go for a tech pick. Maybe Rice 1. I know delayed single streams can be annoying to work with. So, and there's options. We haven't even looked at the LMs.
I think shutting down Korjak is not a bad ban for France.
Yeah.
It's knowing Poland's accuracy can take full advantage of I think the Soyo from like last week's pool is definitely one of those things. Actually, France is actually banning Speed Pick, so Rice 1 is going to be the ban. I think it makes sense, but we haven't seen so much of a Speed Pick, I think, in at least for this match, so it's not really something that you can possibly predict.
Maybe like a stylistic discomfort, maybe just... I mean, like I said, with delayed streams, it's like some of the patterning in that song can get a little wonky. Maybe they just don't want to risk missing at a crucial moment. That's me speculating, and they just want to. They'd rather take the risk on Rice 4 if they wanted to go into a sharpshooting battle, and that's a really risky.
That's a very risky. Yep, there you go. You said it. This is very risky.
This is. Oh man, what can I say about Korjak that hasn't already been said about a Korjak pick? This is the scariest pick in the Rice pool. It feels like every week because it can go one of two ways: either you V1 double S and you nearly 1 billet, or you just miss everywhere.
I think the worry is that once you get into like the later game pools about Korjak, it's not really so much about missing anymore. It's just about if you hit any of the columns, you either get 150 and like a barrage of it. So not only your score hurts for that reason, you also get you also get penalized quite a lot if you hit them in like in the wrong order.
Yeah, like column lock isn't a thing, but column rushing is very much still a thing. And like you were saying, once the BPM gets high enough, you just completely tank an entire column. Ooh, by Getka with a bit of a rough start there. Jerem trading the missed backs very early going, so no harm, no foul at the end of the day, but we'll have to wait to see. That one's going to start doing some damage, though.
It is going to be harm for France. I guess 2 misses on that side of Jerem, and I think Poland's I think there's a 50 for Rijeka, but Wolf was also taking the first miss, so there's no FCs on Poland's side, which it really doesn't translate very well. I think Wolf was just immediately letting go and just pretty much gave up, I think.
Yeah, that's one of those where it's like you kind of know when it comes to the Korjak picks that it's like as soon as one node goes wrong and you start seeing them compile, it's you know the other team isn't gonna let you back into the map. So we'll have to wait and see. This tells me, I mean, it's a really short song, so
it is, but I'm not entirely sure if that's like a 25% of the song have been elapsed already.
Yeah, it could also just be it could also be a disconnection, somebody leaving the lobby causes it to freak out a little bit. No, it's gonna catch up. Okay, so there's just client lag. So everybody's still in, thankfully. We're just gonna see a bit of funkiness right now. As it stands, France is gonna make this a match point situation. Both their players are still playing the map. So a little bit unfortunate. You would like to see players hang on as best as they can, because you never know. I mean, Jerem had a couple misses on their end, has a couple
and then a miss.
Outro, but
and looks like Clemati and FC.
Yeah, it was the Clemati versus Bagetka. They would have been a close battle, but
there you go. The client is pretty much goes crazy. Okay,
giving us a bit of a rave there at the end. So,
Oh wow, that's That's a very good ratio. 104. Actually, no. Yeah, this the rest of the chart doesn't play. So really much, pretty much 5-0. France here. Poland's turn to pick now, and they have to pick really carefully right now.
It's one of those. It's like, what do you go into is kind of the question, because I feel like if you challenge France on LN, it's a bit of a, it could be a recipe for disaster. You would bring Milla back in probably. Clamati's been absolutely lights out for France so far in this match, and having that second person to back up Baguetka, because I imagine Baguetka is just going to stay in for everything. Kind of back into a corner now, it feels like.
Something tells me that LN's being ignored this late. It does tell you that I think Poland is not comfortable picking LNs.
So maybe it's only like Rice 5?
Yeah, I think Rice 5 is the only option here, if not going for the straight up hybrids.
Yeah, like, would you go hybrid 3? France was bold enough to protect it. Like, that's also a bit of a risky proposition. EX2, maybe, but looking at that, like, EX3 didn't really work out in their favor either, so it's a bit of a long shot. But I mean, to be fair, it's like, you can't go to the show if you don't buy a ticket. What's the worst that could happen if you go for something like LN3, or to say, go L intensity, and just hope for something, or LN1. But that being said, you banned LN4, you would really want to go for like release or coordination. So it's like, I wouldn't want to be in that position, having to make this decision.
Yeah, we're still just about to see what Poland's next move going to be. If you're in Poland's shoes, I wouldn't really like it so much just to pick the poison between the picks that you really don't want to pick.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a rough spot to be in. It's like you're facing your tournament life here as it stands, and right now, I mean, we haven't got a response from either Polish player. I hope they haven't disconnected and we just haven't realized it yet. So they're not the type of team to hold up proceedings here. So we'll have to wait and see what the pick is going to be, unless Bancho's eating the messages and they've already made their choice.
I'm not entirely, at least not entirely savvy with how actually messages came through and whatnot, for at least in the attorney client side of things. But yeah, I feel the safest, at least in my eyes, the safest pick would just be Rice 5. I don't think there's any reason to pick any of the LNs if they just ignored it until this late.
Oh, okay. So thankfully we get to peek behind the curtain. The choice is going to be Hybrid 3. They decide to go for Hybrid 3. I think I think both Polish players might have had a bit of a client issue, so we were just not seeing their messages. So gonna get them back into the lobby here before too long and get everything else underway. But we'll have to.
Yeah, this picking your opponent's protect is I actually applaud for any team picking their opponent's protect for one reason or another, which I think it definitely can work.
Yeah, so we'll see. Like I said, Baguetka looks like they had to reset their client. I think they made a mention earlier in the match that some hiccup reset their settings a little bit. So, I mean, we'll make sure we get everybody in with everything working. So, we shall get this one underway, see if we can get everybody back at full strength. It'll be interesting to see who from France decides to play this one. If it's going to be Milla subbing in for Jerem.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think for just straight up non core jack thing. I was gonna say rice pick in particular, but I think Mila also played the core stream, so I think the non core jack pick. I think Jerem was the only one to play the core jack anyway, so I think Mila should be playing in, knowing that they have been playing for every single pick outside of the core jack pick.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, Francis looked very confident on all the picks. Like, maybe they won't light up like the overall leaderboards when it comes time to statistics, but at least in the context of this match, they're doing everything that they need to secure these points where it's like if one person falters, then the other one picks up the slack a little bit. And even when somebody does find the miss, the recovery runs afterwards are keeping them ahead in some of these important trades.
Yeah, it's just not really looking looking good if you're on the Polish side here, but it actually, yeah, okay. So I for that reason, I think Poland really needs to win 5 straight picks in order to get into a tiebreaker here. But tough hill to climb.
Yeah, it's definitely a hill. Can definitely become a mountain if they're not too careful. But I mean, they definitely have it within themselves. It's just been those breakpoint moments in some of these songs that haven't gone their way. So, bit of a bold choice going for Hybrid 3, but again, they would have had to have gone for stuff that they're not maybe looking forward to at some point. So, let this be the first domino to fall, as they say.
This is possibly the last chance for Poland to get into the game, but apparently Mila's actually done a very rocky start already, like under 98 in the first miss there, but luckily though, it's just the first miss, and now he's traded actually with Wolfu there, but well, not by very much, but actually accuracy is still pretty much intact for Poland, so there's a decent enough lead to go over.
Yeah, we got a bit of a cross-map battle developing here. The two FCs, Bagetka and Klamadi, going up against each other. Bagetka ahead by about 0.3%. And despite Mila having an extra miss in the back pocket off of Wolfu, the fact that they're a little bit behind in terms of overall accuracy, recovering nicely, but they didn't pick up the pace a little bit, is keeping Poland ahead for the moment. Still a lot of map left to go here, but looking strong for Poland as it stands with Mila finding another drop.
Actually, now it's looking fairly solid for the most part. So in regards to just accuracy, it's pretty much on hand where Bajekan can actually take the full carry onwards, but they really need to tread a thin ice, basically, knowing that the hybrid is right on France's favor, but apparently Mila is actually taking so much trouble on the shields here, I feel.
Yeah, these sweeps across the playfield kind of catching them out a couple of times here. Half the map still have to go. 20,000 points in favor of Poland, the largest cushion that they've really been able to nurse here. Wolfu finding a drop on the break section. They probably consider missing on air, but thankfully they're able to get away with it for now. Can't afford any more from this point forward unless they capitulate this lead, but with a third of the map left to go, both French players trying to claw this one back. It's starting to shrink ever so slightly. 15,000 points from that lead.
Oh, it's actually getting dangerous here. Actually, Wolf was tanking quite a bit now. It's actually just about 4-digit lead. Just about, right? Anyway, because accuracy-wise, it's still pretty much the same for all 4 players.
Yeah, there's a toothpick holding up the scaffolding right now, and it's by Getka's score, being able to keep themselves above that 99.6 mark, and the FC basically able to effectively cancel out Klamadi and hold on to the bulk of this 10,000 point lead that they've managed to establish. Got a little bit dicey there in the later stages, but Wolfu's recovered nicely and been able to take advantage of these earlier drops from Mila, and Poland made a bold decision going for Hybrid 3, and it paid off in spades.
Managed to escape there, and we now have 1 on the board for Poland right here, but 4 points down still. France's turn to pick now. And knowing that Francis can take advantage on every single pick other than maybe potentially Hybrid 2, I think they're in fairly solid position if they can pick carefully now.
Yeah, for sure. So for France, it feels like there's maybe a couple more avenues of approach. It feels like, given their performances so far, that one maybe just being a bit of a blip. The fact that it came on their Protect is a bit of a blip on the performance, but who knows? Also did get some clarification there on that Rice 4 pick. Well, we saw Wolfu have a couple of issues. Apparently their USB's disconnected. Just a bit of a technical difficulty there. So did want to clarify that because I was speculating a little bit openly there while that pick was going on.
Well, quite a bit of an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
But not really so much you can do other than just apart from like the hardware fall and everything. It's just unavoidable at some point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think that's the best way to put it. You never want to see somebody lose a point due to hardware issues, but I mean, it is what it is sometimes. And I mean, for all it's worth, Poland really put themselves back together there on that Hybrid 3 pick to really kind of put their foot down and not go quietly into the night here. Right. So able to keep themselves alive for at least one more pick. But for now, waiting on France here.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least Poland winning their opponent's Protect and France winning on their opponent's Protect as well. So they're even for that. But actually, picking LN2 this time, we're now entering on the uncharted territory where no LNs have been played except for maybe one of a few picks I think from like EX, which is considerably just all grounds covered. But now LN coordination is the name of the game, and Francis kind of have to tread very carefully, knowing the LN coordination is just completely different in terms of playing wise.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. We can maybe speculate just based off the hybrid performances and the EX performance, but this one, I mean, I wouldn't discount Poland. But Gekka could put up some crazy scores on stuff like this, and Wolfu looks to have brought up their performance, maybe just shaken off a little bit of. I think they're playing while 6, so definitely not a position I would want to be in if I had to play while not feeling at my best. So we'll have to see how they perform as well.
Yeah, good thing is that the issues are sorted out for the most part, so hopefully nothing actually just happens catastrophically here. But so far, it's not that bad for a start for all of these players, really.
Oh, that being said, Clamati finding a break through this introduction, gonna be the first one to fall, gonna spot about 3,000 points away of Poland. And with the fact that this map doesn't have the prototypical like fast-paced dense LNs, recovering up over that 400 combo cap does take a considerable amount longer, and Jerem finding the fall as well, gonna double this advantage for Poland as things stand. The quarter map already gone. Thankfully this one is longer than some of the other maps that we have seen so far in this match, so room for recovery definitely possible, but Poland will definitely enjoy some breathing room now with both FCs gone for the side of France.
Yeah, 2 FCs to none, which is still quite a sign of relief, but, well, knowing that this pick is also very long, so it's just about 3 minutes, so really having to keep your focus all the way through is just another challenge in of itself.
Madi finding yet another drop, and both FCs for the side of Poland still going strong, really taking advantage of these mistakes from France now. As we cross the halfway point of the map, density starts to subside a little bit before it begins to pick up for this outro, but 10,000 points, the cushion for Poland to work with now.
Yeah, despite like with all the three, at least the three misses from France's side, lead is kind of cutting down a fair bit. I think Wolf is down to like 99.05, and Vegeka's gradually slowing down a little bit. I think just dropping ever so slightly, so the lead is kind of staying in the 4 digit. Wolf was the first one to miss there, so it's actually traded out apparently. So. Oh, that's actually kind of getting dangerous a little bit here. Yeah, well, we're nearing the last quarter of the chart right now, so I'm trades back and forth, but all it takes is just one carry through, and Bejeka and Klamani is trying their best to keep their combos afloat.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous proposition for Poland now. They've managed to reestablish the lead now, but Wolf now starting to struggle in terms of overall accuracy as well. Klamani falls, as well as Jerem. A full combo reset on the side of France gonna help restore this cushion. Bageka left alone above everybody else. 15,000 points the margin going into this outro, and don't count out Poland yet. This is a crucial break point in this match if they can hang on here. Another drop from Klamani gonna spell the end of the line on this map, and it is 2-5.
This is looking very, very good for Poland. This is a huge morale boost, knowing that.
Absolutely.
Bejetka though, 983k, just possibly just you know, like even LN coordination like this is just so hard to FC, and knowing that they play to their strengths, and France took the bait pretty badly here.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before this map started, but Gekka is capable of swinging some really impressive scores, and if there was ever a time to put up an MVP performance, that was the map. So, I mean, Poland up to pick, now earning themselves another pick, getting a breakpoint in the back pocket, and taking a look at the map pool. I mean, the coordination went really nicely. LN1 maybe?
I was about to say, knowing that the Poland's have that trick on their sleeve, because I think LN coordination is Poland's one of their hidden, unknowingly they're one of their biggest strengths, but I think they're sticking with the hybrids, it looks like, so we're not seeing LN too soon just yet. We're actually exhausting every hybrids now.
Alright, I mean, at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to play it, and I feel like they've started to grow into this match more so. Hopefully, they've left like I said, the mental fortitude to be staring down the barrel of a 6-0 and clawing back a point on your opponent's protect, and then getting the break point immediately thereafter. That has to do something for the confidence going further into this match. So France now needing to find that last point, whether it be on this breakpoint on a potential breakpoint or on their next pick. We see Milacek back in, and another pretty long map in the grand scheme of things of this pool, over 3 minutes. So gonna see whose consistency will hold out longer.
Yeah, well, let's see if Poland can bring this to a good end of this pick, and if they can bring to the next chapter of picking, maybe potentially France is taking the next bait, but we'll get there once we see it. This time, actually, nah. I was about to say, Bejeka also still taking, the one taking mirror this time around. Maybe just bring up a fresh mind above the chart every single time.
Yeah, I think they've had it on lock this entire time. Maybe 1 or 2 maps, but as it stands, I mean, whatever, play to your comfort, and they're clearly comfortable on the mirrors. So as we get this one underway, it's been do or die time for Poland.
Yeah,
these last 2 maps.
It is a faster hybrid, so it might play well to Poland's side, but Well, you can't really know for sure.
First major drop going the way of Poland Wolfu, losing their FC, taking a bit of damage to their accuracy as well, falling below that 99% mark. Gonna give France about a 2,000 point cushion to work with as they trade once again. Milla falls this time for the side of France. So 2 FCs left on the board, one for either side as we exit the first quarter of the map. 2,000 points still in favor of the French as we continue on here.
Oh, missing on the bracket on the Wolves side there.
Pretty loud miss. Gonna continue to damage their accuracy. They need to get back over that 99% mark if they want to make some significant impact. By Gekka falls, trading with Milla this time around. That's the one person you didn't want to find a miss on for the side of Poland, and the lead grows for France. 6,000, but Milla finds yet another drop. It's 5,000. Can't take full advantage of these mistakes from Poland. As we transition into the back half of the map, we take a second to take stock of the situation. There's only one FC left in the lobby, and it belongs to Klamadi. Second highest accuracy in the lobby by Gekka, putting in a hell of a shift here, trying to keep Poland's hopes alive in this match.
They can't really they're not out of the woods yet. This is still just about within an inch of distance. I think Poland has the accuracy advantage right here. Knowing Klamadi and Milla has to regain that accuracy footing, it's now dropped it down to 4,000. And Wolf was actually another one to drop, third one to drop here.
Some big impact moments, and transitioning out of it, Wolfu the only person to find a drop in that last section, and the lead triples. 15,000 points for France with a quarter of the map left to go. Anything can still happen. We've seen leads like this shrink already in this tournament, so for Poland, they're not out of it just yet, but that hill is going to become a mountain before too long. Another drop from Wolfu, not traded back this time around. An eighth of the map left to go here. No trades back from the French. Klamadi still holding on to the only FC in this lobby. Might not have the highest accuracy, but who needs that when you have 17,000 points to work with? They finally fall. A triple miss for everybody.
This is dangerous, actually. Oh, no, actually, for Poland's side, also another team wipe as well. And it's going to be France's win right there, 6-2. This is going to be a good end for France today, and they will live to survive for the next match as well.
Oh my goodness, what a match from these two teams. We thought Poland was down and out. They at least went down swinging at the end of the day. But unfortunately, that will be the end of the line for them. France takes the match, continues on in this tournament. They'll be facing off, I believe, against Australia tomorrow to see who can make it to these semifinals. But boy, what a performance. What a show.
Yeah, this is quite a massive upset as well, knowing the underdogs have been unexpectedly been kind of hidden even in the later games, so to speak. So Australia might have something to look out for, knowing France can and do what it takes to practice and play to their strengths. So be on the lookout for Australia. No, this is actually kind of a scary opponent to see.
Absolutely. So definitely a lot to look forward to, but the Saturday block of matches is officially over. We're going to take a pretty lengthy break before the next match, and it's going to be a single one. One UTC on Sunday is going to be South Korea versus the United States to see who continues their winner's bracket run. But, Mifa,
hey,
it's been a couple weekends. I had to work, but I'm glad to be back. But there was something that was missing in round of 32 that I'm really hoping is here now, because my wallet's itching. I really want to show my support for the teams here. Can you enlighten me? Have the banners arrived for the 7 Key World Cup?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because right now, even on the previous days, now banners are up. So you can go to O-Store and just can look at the precious banners that we have seen on the O-Store for all the 32 participating countries that play for this Osmania 7 Key World Cup 2026, and you can go over there and support your favorite teams. So you can purchase multiple banners as well if you want to support multiple teams as well if you do so. But again, once you get to purchase multiple banners as well, if the winning team for the tournament for the 7K World Cup 2026 get to win, just to take the first place of the podium as well, you get to keep that winning team banner for much even longer than what you're supposed to keep. So even then, you still got quite a lengthy road ahead. So pretty much pick your poison on what banners you want to support, and pretty much all proceeds will definitely go to the pool as well to support the teams, really. So there you go. That's really what you are waiting for the banners as well. If you like to do so, go check out the Osu store right now.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I need to pick up my banners for this year. But with that being said, like I said, we'll be taking a bit of a lengthy break. Check back in at 1 UTC for that winner's bracket match between South Korea and the US. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, this has been Mifa, and Sparky will be signing off for the day. Take care.